To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados de las
This here's
puertas.
a wild ride in the wilderness.
When invisibility doors change.
So today on Miles from Main Street, we have a special guest. Her name is Paige Lewis. How are we doing today, Paige?
Great.
Your dad tells me that you recently came home from Hawaii.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. We want to hear all about it.
She's a very spoiled brat. Okay, maybe not the brat part. But yeah, my mother-in-law, her grandmother, took her to Hawaii, and we're going to talk about it. And I can't wait for you guys to hear all about her trip because it was quite amazing. But before we get into that, you know what I'm going to say? You need to share the show and give us a review on your favorite podcast app. And I know that Apple and Spotify has reviews, so if you could get out there and review them, review us on there, that would be awesome. So Paige, you get to go to Hawaii. How long were you there?
5 nights, 6 days.
That's a pretty good time.
That's a good amount of time. Yeah, it's with
Yes, it
Hawaii. I mean, I've never been to Hawaii, but it sounds like a fun, long, luxurious trip.
Yes, it was very fun. Very pretty.
It's very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking a little bit before we hit the record button. We were talking a little bit about just how it was when you got there. So landing at the airport, getting through all that, how'd that go?
It was pretty good. It went pretty smooth getting there. When we got into the airport at Hawaii, there was a long walk to the baggage claim, but once we got our bags and stuff, our shuttle put lays on us.
And that was not like anyone in the airport, because like when I've watched movies or any videos about Hawaii, I always thought there was just like somebody in the airport that was going, "Hey, welcome to Hawaii," and giving you a lay.
Well, I've only seen in movies where like people get off like private planes, and like as soon as they get off the plane, they're like giving them a lay. But I mean, I would assume that a lot of people use like regular planes, not like small little private planes. So I guess that makes sense.
It was Hele shuttle service.
So the shuttle service, is this a specifically Disney shuttle, or is this just like is a shuttle that takes you anywhere?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty certain this is a
know.
private service that they were using, not related to Disney. So how long was the trip from the airport to Aulani?
It took, traffic, we were told, starts about 3, and we kind of hit before traffic, so it only took us like an hour to get there.
Okay, well that's
probably
good.
A little less.
That's pretty good. And you got to see the countryside as you went, right?
Yes, we did.
All right, cool. All right, so you got to Aulani. I know you had told me that you didn't want to do the like online check-in. You wanted to do it. You wanted to go to the desk. How'd that go?
It was good. Why we wanted to go to the desk is because we were told that that's when you would get your lays, not when we got to the airport with our shuttle service. So basically, it was just regular check-in to a hotel.
No lay or anything at that
No.
point? Okay.
We got the front desk lady kind of showed us the map and where to go for things, and then gave us our buttons for our first time being there. And then we were celebrating my birthday, so I got a birthday button.
So this is a question I've had for a while, and it already kind of sounds like a typical Disney check-in, where they slap the map down of the hotel, and they're like, okay, this is the main lobby. This is where your room is. If you walk this way, this is how you get there. And I've wondered for a while, and maybe this is kind of like a big question that we can answer throughout the podcast, but Did it feel like just like a fancy Disney hotel that you were going to, or did it feel more of like a location? Like, did you get those like Disney World hotel vibes, or did it feel like a completely different kind of thing?
Um, I feel like it felt like a Disney hotel because they were all very nice. Like, you got all, like, you had the Disney stuff that they'd give you, like they would normally give you at a hotel with the map and stuff.
So you kind of felt that Disney touch, though, the hospitality that they provide.
Yes, because as soon as we got there, actually, the bell service was right there and took our bags from us and brought them up to our room.
Nice. Was your room ready right away?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
And it was before actual check-in time.
Nice.
Nice. So, what was something about the hotel that you liked? Uh, I know that I've seen pictures of the lobby. The lobby looks
Mhm.
really big. I heard that that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so when you first walk in, it's open, so it's big open area. It has all of the pretty paintings on it. So pretty like architecture, like the tiki wooden stuff that you know Hawaii for, and then you have it's open and you just see the view of the beach and the pools and like the garden area when you first walk in, and then when you go off to the sides, they have more of the architecture and the painting and stuff over to the um where you check in.
I know you guys did a lot of like specialty meals and you did an excursion of some sort, but beyond that, like of the activities around the hotel, what were some of the things that you enjoyed?
Um, I enjoyed meeting the characters. There were many fun ones. They had many different ones that I feel like you can meet at um the parks. Like they had Max, they had Max Goofy's son.
Which you don't, I mean, you can't meet him. I think he might meet at Disneyland a little bit, doesn't he?
He meets at as Powerline Max at Hollywood Studios, but you never really like meet like regular Max anywhere.
Okay. So that's cool.
They had like Stitch and Angel together at some points.
Nice.
They did pairs too, so like Daisy and Donald, Mickey and Minnie, and they were all in their. A lot of them were in their Halloween costumes.
Hmm.
There's also Goofy and Max together too, which was cool to
Oh,
see.
that would be really cool.
Mhm.
So, one thing I wanted to say is that she video called us at one point and kind of walked around the grounds with us, and we got to say, "Hey, how about go over here? What's going on there?" But the one thing that stuck out to me, like, I kind of thought like the meet and greets would kind of be like easy to do, like, but she was like, "Oh, there's I don't even remember who was meeting at the time, but Chippendale I think was one of them. Oh, Chippendale's meeting over there, and the line was like a mile long." And I'm like, "Oh." So that was something that kind of burst my bubble, I guess, is that, like the meet and greets will take time.
Yeah. So what? When I was doing research before our trip, I found that if you really want to meet someone, to go 15 minutes before, especially if they're more of like a character that is more rare to see, or it's someone you really want to see, because they'll eventually switch out and you might not get to see them.
So I know you met Mickey and you met a couple of other characters. Is that what you did? Is got there early like that?
Actually, the first day we were there, we went to two, and we kind of just hit them right at the perfect times. There was no line. We hit Pluto, I think, and then we went over to Mickey and we waited for like a minute and we got to see Mickey. But when we went to see Stitch on the last day, we were there earlier, and there ended up being a really long line for that one.
Okay. But you did get to meet Stitch, so that's good.
Hmm.
That's interesting to me. I guess I don't know why I would think that like, oh, they wouldn't have characters in Hawaii, but I mean it is a Disney hotel, and it's like probably one of the only Disney things that they have around there. So it makes sense that they would have characters, but that is cool because it kind of like feels like it almost like when you're talking about it, it almost feels like it is like a Disney park that you're going to, and they have like meet and greets places.
Mm.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that you would see anyone, like you'd be in your swimsuit, you just get to go stand in the line for the character and stuff. There wasn't like special place you had to go. They were all over the grounds at
Cool.
Aulani.
Awesome. So like I said, you did go do some special meals. What kind of meals did you get to do?
So our first meal was Ama Ama, which is describes as like a contemporary island dining area. So it was a five, 4-course meal. And so you had a pre appetizer, an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. So it was very fancy. We got to sit right out like outside, and you could see the sunset, the beach, and there was live music going. So it was really nice, really fancy. Like if you're there for your anniversary or honeymoon, that's what we saw a lot of people there for.
And in Wisconsin, they were 5 hours behind us, so they're eating at 5:30, and already in bed at 10:30. So I'm getting texts of pictures of food, and I'm going, okay, but I'm going to bed now. And I do remember one text saying, "This is the fanciest meal I've ever had." And
Yes.
we have a running joke in the family that we're not fancy supper club people. so um so I'm sure that was a little bit jarring for you, huh?
Yeah, it was lots of different things. Like it was hard seeing the menu because it was a little confusing for me. I don't know.
Okay.
The waiters explained it, so
And it was a 4-course meal, but you get to choose each of your courses.
yeah. So they had about 4 to 5 things for each category, and you got to choose what ones. So you chose them all right away. You put your order in, and then they spaced out when you got your food.
So in my head, I'm thinking. So it's funny. I've never been to Hawaii, and in my head, I'm like thinking of like all of the different Hawaiian movies and things that I've seen on TV. And in my head, when you're talking about this, it's like an outdoor thing, like all like the Hawaiian places I've seen. Was this like a restaurant that you guys went to?
Yeah.
So yeah, what I
Was
know
it
of it,
indoors?
So part of it was
yeah, so it's like on the edge of the building,
Mm.
towards the beach side of the building. And just from the pictures that she showed, like they were sitting on a terrace just outside of the building. They had like
mm,
garage doors open type of thing. So you went inside to the restaurant, right, and
yes.
walked through the restaurant up back outside to the terrace.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain because everything is very open. It was very an open concept, but there was a roof over it
Mhm.
at some parts.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, and I mean, I've been lucky to be able to go to very fancy establishments with my wife at Disney, and the way that you're explaining it, like a prefix menu, kind of sounds like, um, like typical like Disney like prefix. Like if you go to the California Grill, um, was it something like that? If you've ever seen like California Grill videos, or like would you compare it to something like from a Disney park?
I mean, I haven't really gone to a really fancy meal at Disney. I feel like the fanciest one we went when I went was Cinderella's Royal Table.
That's fancy.
Yeah, that one, or Artist Point, which was a
Artist
character
Point.
meal.
Oh, that one
Yep.
was prefixed a bit too, right?
Yeah. Um. So you think that this was fancier than those, or
Yes, I do.
okay?
Cause like they gave you the moose bouche, which is that little tiny like thing you get even before your pre appetizer.
Is that what
So
moose bouche means? Is like pre-appetizer?
I don't even know.
Oh, you told me
Is
that.
that a Hawaiian word?
No,
Oh, it's just a regular word.
You
it's
told me that, and I'm
it's
like,
a
I don't know what that
culinary
is.
thing. Yeah. So they give you like a little sample of something, kind of, but it's very tiny circle of something, and
Okay.
I did not like what they gave us. I don't know what it was. They explained it to me, and I don't
Oh, this
know.
was the one that was like a squid or something that had the ink leaking out
No,
of it.
that was
Ugh.
my appetizer.
Oh, okay.
I got ahi tuna, which is like the what is it called? Like tuna poke or whatever. It was raw tuna.
Oh yeah.
And then they had squid on it and caviar and kale. It was not.
Yeah, this is more.
So it sounds very fancy, actually.
Yeah,
I've
it
nev-
was. It
yeah.
was lots of seafood. There was steak, but their steak was like, when you think of fancy places, I always think of the very small portions they give you, even though you pay a lot for it. So I don't know. It was definitely smaller portions.
But you're getting a higher quality.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've always, with like going to, I mean, I'm sure this place blows. The Beauty and the Beast, Be Our Guest out of the water, but like I always think of that where it's like you get several courses, but it's like small portions, but you get like 4 courses.
Yeah.
So it's like you're still like getting a bunch of food, but they're just, people always complain about how small the steak is there. And it's like you ate a whole soup, whole appetizer, and then you get that. So, but yeah.
I know. I almost like the smaller portions because I was still full at the end, but you kind of eat almost everything you're given.
Yeah, I've
Which is
noticed
nice.
with Disney, there are 2 types of restaurants at Disney. There are the ones that will just like keep bringing you food, and you just feel terrible like wasting all of this food because they've just like kept bringing it out. Or there are the ones where you're like, okay, maybe we need to get a pizza when we get back.
Yeah. I kind of noticed that Aulani too. Like some places they barely gave you any food, but some places they gave you so much food, and it was
Since we're
yeah.
still talking about food, what was like another meal that kind of stood out to you? Did you do any like what are they like, I don't know the terms. Like were they like, it's like a big production and everything, and there's like fire breathers and stuff, like what are those called?
You're
Oh,
talking.
the luau.
A luau, yeah.
That probably was my next like very standoutish thing.
Mm.
So we got preferred seating, which means we got to go. We were one of the first people in. So you still have like set spots that they put you in, but you're closer if you buy the preferred seating. And we walked in, you took a picture with the dancers, and then they gave you a drink, and you went and sat down. And you could go do a bunch of different activities. So they had taro pounding, which is kind of like it's hard to like explain it, like a gritty kind of pasty like food, but they kind of explained it as a potato. I don't know. I did not like it, but
This is taro root, right? I've never had it,
I
but
don't know. It was spongy.
okay.
So what they do is you sit on benches, and then they have a like kind of like a cutting board, and you take, I don't know if you know, like a guacamole smasher,
Mm-hmm.
and you smash the taro on there and like cream it out.
I think you mean like a stone pestle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
And then they had flower like bracelet making. So you made yourself a flower bracelet out of lace. Oh, we got laid when we walked in to the luau too. It was those the stone lace.
Oh,
The kukui nuts.
Kukui nuts,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kristen bought one of those when we were at the Poly recently. We looked at it, we were like, do we need this? I think we need this.
And then they had ukulele lessons and temporary tattoos. So those activities are all fun and occupied the kids, occupied the adults, because you got in at 5, but they didn't really start. You didn't start eating till 6.
Okay.
So they had music and dancers out while you were doing the activities, hanging out, talking. And then at 6, you had the big buffet, which had lots of food. It had anywhere from pork belly to fish to salad to lots of fresh fruit, many desserts. Yeah,
Nice.
and I liked everything I tried there. It was really good.
And how was the show?
It was very good. It was about an hour long, and they kind of just took you through the story of Hawaii and highlighting things. So they had dancers, they had the fire throwers, kind of like 2 narrators that just went through the whole thing. And they did have Mickey and Minnie at the beginning hulaing. And you could join them in hula if you wanted to.
Nice.
Yes.
I mean, you may not be able to answer this, but like I hear from a lot of people that like those types of luau's feel kind of like generic, whereas like if you went like more in mainland and like went to an actual like party, like it felt more. It would like feel more like real. Like, did you get that sense, or like do you just like not really know? Like you've never been to one, so you like couldn't really tell.
I mean, I could understand if you've been to a real luau, probably how it would feel generic, just kind of the way they ran it, because they kind of had to keep it on a tight schedule and they had Disney like mixed into it. But as a person who's never been to luau, I didn't think it was like super generic or anything.
I was gonna ask also like how Disneyfied did they make the whole thing?
They really did not make it Disneyfied at all. They had Mickey and Minnie come out for the luau like once, and then I don't even know if there's anything else really Disney.
Nice.
We didn't talk about this at all, but I did see a picture posted, I think, I don't know, in one of the Disney groups that I'm in. But they had been at Aulani. They did the luau the night before you did.
Mm.
And they said the characters like the Fab Five had come out at the end of the luau and were meeting people. Did that happen at all?
I mean, we kind of just straight went to our room. I didn't see any of them there because they had the dancers and the narrators kind of lined up where you could go take pictures with them and talk to them, but I didn't see any characters.
Okay.
That's kind of cool to hear, because I've always thought like I definitely want to get out to Aulani, and go to Hawaii. I think that would be an amazing experience. Um, but I've also heard from people that like even if you stay at like the regular resorts that are kind of around that area, because there's a bunch of like really big ones,
Yeah.
it's not like real Hawaii, um, because it's like you're just staying at a resort and everything's kind of like made for you. So it's good to hear that it's not. I mean, not that like I would be upset if like Disney made like a Disney luau, like I'd probably still love it. but
Mhm.
but it's cool that like they try to make it a little more authentic when they do stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I actually thought they did a really good job at keeping the place authentic Hawaii, like with just a bit of Disney sprinkled into
Hmm.
it. It wasn't like Disney with a bit of Hawaii.
Cool.
That's what I always think of when I go to places, like not so much the contemporary, but like kind of like the Grand Floridian, where it's like this feels like a fancy resort, and then there's like those like little touches of Disney places that like you can find. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, that's like right at Disney, so it's kind of easy to find those. But yeah, that's it. I mean, that sounds really cool, and it's really great that they kind of make it more authentic than just kind of like in your face Disney.
And
Yeah.
when we were on that video call, so Aulani is set up on these coves that are, I don't know if they're man made or just how the island is formed, but there's these coves on the edge of the island. And so when we were on that video call, I had her walk out to this point. So if you're looking out of Aulani to the water, there you can walk to the left and go all the way around to the point of this cove and be out closer to the actual water. And so I made her do that. And it's kind of like this little park out there. But as the first building that she walks by that's off property, we started joking that it was like the Hawaiian mafia lived there or something.
It was actually a chapel.
Oh, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was hard to tell on the video what it was, but that was the joke.
Yeah.
But anyway, you said that was, or somewhere next to that was a resort, and that was actually the place people were saying you should go for the luau.
Yeah, so it actually isn't a resort. It's Paradise Cove. So they have a beach, and we actually saw a bunch of seals there. Like they were laying out on the sand, like wild seals. And
Cool.
we were told that it was really cool. And then we were told that beach has a lot of turtles that you could go see, but we weren't in our swimsuits or anything. It was our last day. We kind of just walked over there because we had time. And so they had that beach and the luau area. It was just a big luau area, and it wasn't a hotel or anything. But we actually talked to the security guard, and he said it's like a really nice luau and everything.
I was just so something to keep in mind when you're going. If Disney's luau is sold out, maybe it's better to check into Paradise Cove.
Yeah.
So I don't really know all that much about Aulani. What I do know about Aulani is what I've seen on Tim Tracker. And they at one point did this like I don't know if it was like a scavenger hunt or just kind of like a walkthrough like area that like taught you all of these like things about Hawaii. Did you do that at all?
We did not do it, but we saw a bunch of people do it. So they had tablets, and you kind of walked around, and it taught you about. I think it kind of just taught you about the place and the Hawaii and stuff. And it actually kind of used that Disney magic because you would put your tablet at something and then it would make like the waterfall. Or you tap. There was one area where if you showed your iPad, then a turtle would appear like within the water.
Cool. Wow.
You did kind of look around at the menehune, right?
Yes, the Hawaiian hidden Mickeys. I learned that a little later in the trip.
So what was that all about?
So just like a hidden Mickey, but the little menehune, which is actually meant for like child. So they're like little tikis hidden under things. There were some in the elevator. They still had phone booths. So they had them in the phone booths. They were all over the resort.
Fun.
So as somebody who typically goes on vacations and runs around the entire time, would you say that this vacation was pretty relaxing? Like did you do a lot of just like chilling around the resort, or were there like lots of things to do?
Yes, it was lots of chilling, which actually was a part I didn't like because I'm a very go, go, go person when it comes to vacations. And I felt like I was just not doing anything. I don't know. I was like, I feel like I could be going somewhere right now, and I'm just laying at a pool, hanging out.
How? So here's another question. So there is a pool and a beach. What was the pool like?
I don't know.
Well, they have multiple pools, right?
Yeah, they have. Okay. They have like 5 different pools. It was a lot. I got a whole list here.
Oh wow, yeah. They have. This is my organized one. She takes lots of notes. She's got like 3 pages of notes here, so she's checking things out. But yeah, she's got a big list of pools.
Yeah, so there's the Wailana pool, which was by the bar.
Was that a swim up pool?
It wasn't a swim up bar, no, but it 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 was right next to it, and it was a smaller, more secluded one. There was Kakamaka Grotto, which was so there's a adult only infinity pool that you have to be 18 or older, but the Kakamaka Grotto is the family, like it's really big. It had like caves and stuff. Unfortunately, that was under construction when we were there, so we couldn't go in that one. But that was the big family company pool. So, and I heard we were talking to some DVC members actually, and they said that one is actually the busiest pool when it's open.
Mm.
So when we were there, it was the what wake. I'm gonna butcher this name. Waco hole. Wait, I don't know, but that was like the main pool while we were there.
Mhm.
Wait, wakey hole. I don't know. I can't.
What? Well, it kind of
What?
like if you know Waikiki, it's spelled WAIK at the beginning.
Okay.
And
Wakehole. I don't know.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah. So
So there were pools, and then did you spend a lot of time on the beach at all?
so unfortunately, my grandma could not go in the ocean
Oh yeah.
because of her leg. But
Mhm.
I swam in there for about half an hour,
Nice.
which is very salty because it's salt water. But which like my eyes were burning. I don't know. I don't know how somebody can spend a whole day at that type of beach because
It's
not.
it's funny when I think of, and maybe this is just me getting older. I know that when I was younger, it was very much like let's get into the water. When I think of beaches now, I think of just like getting a chair and just like sitting in a chair on a beach and just like sitting and listening to the beach, which sounds like it would be amazing. Which I haven't ever really done that all that much in my life. So maybe Aulani is the place that I finally do that.
Yeah.
But was it that type of beach, or was there just like a lot of action happening all the time?
There was a lot. I feel like the beach was more busy than the pools almost because I feel like there was sandcastle building all over.
Mm.
You could rent paddle boats and boogie boards, and it was actually pretty busy. So,
Mm. And
but
well, and then also with that, did you feel like the resort itself was busy kind of everywhere?
yes, I did. I feel like there's a lot of people there. Like I felt
Mm.
everywhere I went, there was like a person by me. Oh, yeah. Like
And
there's nowhere you really felt secluded almost.
mm.
Like,
And like I'm guessing you've been to places like the Kalahari or like
mhm.
stuff like that. Would you kind of like, because I mean I've been to the Kalahari before when it's been like packed. Like would you kind of like compare it to that?
Um, I don't know, cause I feel like Kalahari, you're on top of people in those
Mm-hmm.
waters. I didn't feel like you were on top of anyone when you were
Mm,
swimming
okay.
or anything, but I still felt like it was pretty busy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like when you go to a normal Disney hotel, there really aren't many like people swimming, probably because they're at the parks.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also the only thing you could really, one of the only things you can do at Aulani is swim.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, so I mean, you did spend a lot of time around the pool and the beach, but you did get out of there a little bit too, and you did an
yes,
excursion one day.
we did.
What were some of the fun parts about that? You know, before you get into it, actually, like when we were getting ready for this, and I was doing a lot to help, but Melissa Pilgrim, who we've been working with, um, she helped a lot
Yes, she
with
did.
this, and we we booked the room on our own because um we were messing around with the deal and trying to get stuff, and she was having trouble getting it booked for some reason. But that wasn't a big deal, so we just transferred the reservation to her. You have 30 days after you book something to transfer it to her if you ever do that. And then she like you went and booked this excursion on your own.
Yes.
And I don't know why you did that. I think you just wanted to make sure it was done. I don't remember.
Maybe.
But as soon as the reservation was on Melissa, like she hit the ground running. She was calling this excursion place to make sure that, because my mother-in-law was using a motorized scooter, and so she was trying to make sure that was able to go on. And this was an excursion that was more meant for all abilities, so it was a lot of busing, not a lot of walking. And so when she contacted them, there was a problem with the scooter. They didn't have any more room for it. So then we were able to get a collapsible wheelchair, and they allowed that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to highlight, like, I've worked with Melissa in the past on some stuff for Disney World, and I was just so impressed with what happened with her, because she picked up on the we told her that she needed a scooter, so she immediately had that taken care of. She picked up on this excursion, had all the details taken care of there for us. The shuttle she took care of, getting that all taken care of for you, and it was seamless. Like, everything was perfect, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. She actually gave us an itinerary with tips and tricks and all of our information for the whole trip, which is very nice to have as a planner and wanting to know everything.
It was really weird for me because they got there and they were landing, and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening now, because I had given their information to her, and it's not like me. Like, I'm usually the planner, aren't I? I'm the one putting it all together, and I didn't know what was happening. But I was trusting that Melissa had put it together, and I didn't know that she'd given you an itinerary. This is the first I had heard of it. That's awesome.
It was weird for me too. I felt like you should be doing everything, and I was like, "Hey, we gotta be up at this time."
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. I make myself itineraries when I go when I go on vacations, and sometimes we don't really follow them. They're more like guidelines than actual rules. But yeah, it sounds like it was a pretty fun trip.
Yes, it was.
So I hijacked the excursion. What can you tell us about this excursion?
So we did the Majestic Circle Island tour. So it kind of just, you started off at Aulani, and then you did a circle around the island, basically, on the outskirts. So we did probably about 5 stops. The waves were really high that day, but there was no water. Like, it was dry season. So our excursion kind of got messed up a bit because of those conditions. But we got on the bus.
The one thing that you were looking forward to on the excursion was the waterfall.
Yes.
There's a park that they go to with a waterfall that you can swim in, but it was dry.
Yes. That was what was messed up with the dry season. We could not swim in the waterfall. Even if I really wanted to swim in the waterfall, it would have been hard because it's kind of a hike to get up to the waterfall, and I had to push the wheelchair, so
it would have been tough.
It would have been tough, yes, because it was very hilly.
But you did hit some other places. What else did you get to do?
We went to the Dole Plantation, which was like very packed. Like, everyone was there. We went to small macadamia nut shops and coffee shops. For lunch, we stopped at a shrimp place, which was kind of just like a shack on the side of the road. But it was very good. Like, I had lemon pepper shrimp with rice, and we got a drink, and it was like really good. One of your
favorite meals? You sounded like you were gonna say
I was
that.
about to say that. I don't know. Almost every meal is my favorite meal. It's hard for me to decide. I feel like I got the coconut shrimp at Aulani, the fried coconut shrimp, which is really good. But I did like the lemon pepper shrimp from the shrimp place better.
I love all my kids equally.
Yeah, we kind of saw like the ranch where Jurassic Park was, Phil. We went past it.
That's cool.
We didn't do the tour of Jurassic Park or anything, but we saw it.
Cool.
We got to stop at a couple beaches and kind of see the really big waves and everything. I can't remember. They were like 10-foot waves or something. But the next day, it was supposed to be up to 40-foot waves,
Jeez.
which would have been really cool to see.
And that would have been North Shore.
North Shore,
And
yep.
so for anyone that's listening that doesn't know, Aulani is on Oahu, which is Honolulu. So that's the airport you're going into. And Aulani's on the South Shore. So this excursion took them around to the North Shore, which is popular for surfing. And you did see some surfers.
Yes, we did. It was cool.
But you said the beach was roped off, like it was closed because of the
Yes.
high waves.
So, I don't know. I feel like some movies I watch, like when there are really high waves, the police come and rope off the, like, you're not supposed to surf, but
Mhm.
everyone goes and surfs still. Like, you can
Were-
get in trouble for it, but they
Were there
still do
people
it.
were there people surfing on the roped off beaches?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Huh.
I feel like a lot of them tried to go off to the side, kind of like they were hidden
Mhm.
from them because they didn't want to get caught by the police.
Well, I
But
hear surfing. I know very little about surfing, but I
Me
hear
too.
that the surfing is better in coved areas because it's a little more manageable. Like you kind of know where things are gonna happen because it coves in. Whereas
Oh.
if you're on like the big long stretch of beach, you never really kind of know where the wave is going to break because you kind of have to be like in the right spot for the wave to break correctly.
Mhm.
So I mean that might be why, but I always hear like surfers like, oh, there's like this really great spot that I always surf, and it's always like this like small little coved area. But I mean, I know nothing about surfing, so
That would make sense.
yeah.
That makes sense to me,
Yeah.
honestly. I don't know.
So Dole Plantation, what'd you have there?
Dole Whip.
Of course.
Yay! When was this? No, you were home already. I recently bought Dole Whip because we found the Dole Whip at the Woodman's over by us. So
Woodman's, that's the spot, huh?
yeah, well, it's funny. We had been actually searching for Dole Whip for a while, and then we kind of like just like every time we'd be out at a grocery store, we'd like walk through the ice cream aisle and be like, Dole Whip? Nah. And like I wasn't looking for this Dole Whip, and I was actually looking for I think it was just like vanilla ice cream because I had brownies at home, and I was just like staring where the vanilla ice cream was, and I looked up and I just saw all three of the boxes, and I was like, oh, cool. So we've got Dole Whip in our freezer now.
But this was Dole Whip at the Dole Plantation with what on top?
Pineapple. Fresh pineapple.
She doesn't ever want to eat another pineapple in Wisconsin.
No.
Because it was that good.
Yes.
Wow.
Like their fruit was amazing. Like I love fruit and I love pineapple. That's my favorite fruit. So I don't think I could ever, I don't know, like
Are you gonna have a did the Dole Whip itself taste different?
I thought it was more like of a pineapple-y taste
Mhm.
than Disney World Dole Whip. Like had more of like that fresh pineapple taste. I liked it better than Disney World Dole Whip. So
This is a hot take, which I think I've said on here before, but like I'm not a huge fan of Dole Whip. Dole Whip is good, don't get me wrong. It was underwhelming the first time I had it. I'm a huge fan of the coconut soft serve that they have at Disney. So that's like my go-to frozen treat when I go to Disney. So I mean, Dole Whip, it's not it's not like the bee's knees like that everybody makes it out to be, but yeah.
The first time I had Dole Whip was in Epcot, and we had the rum added to it, and I also found it underwhelming. And I didn't really go after it too much. We had it. I would have the citrus swirl, and I've been on this show how many times saying I'd rather have citrus swirl than Dole Whip. But the time that you and I had Dole Whip at Tangaroa Terrace at Disneyland, that changed it for me. And then this summer I had it at a place here in Wisconsin, and it was good there too.
Hmm.
So now I'm excited to get to Disney World and try it there and see if I've changed my mind on it.
I'm almost thinking that like so when I had it with you in Disneyland, I actually thought that was pretty good. Um, and I don't think I've ever actually had it at World, but I've had it at Land, and then I had it at Land in 2019 when I went, and that was when I was kind of like, this is what everybody's so excited about. So maybe it just kind of depends on like where you get it. I don't know. We'll find you'll do the research on that, Brian.
Yes, we'll figure that one out. But back to
Excursion.
Hawaii. Anything else? You had this excursion. You did the luau. We talked ama.
I recommend the mugs that you can get at almost any Disney resort. They have them there too. I recommend getting those.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about merchandise. So, was it just kind of like there was one gift shop and that's where you bought stuff, or were there like several spots to like buy merch?
There were 3 different spots actually.
Yay! Let's talk about them all.
They have the Lava Shack, which was more of the pool stuff because it was right next to the pool. Like it was in the middle of the pools. So they had swimsuits, towels, sunscreen. They had Mickey ice cream bars. They had a refill station, and then they had the main one, which was Kalepa's store.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's what had all of like the clothes, the stuffed animals, the ornaments, the snacks, like bags, ears, everything. And then they had a third one, which is like your kind of like Disney higher end boutique store. With, I think they had Dooney and Burke's there. They had like your nicer stuff. You could actually, so every room has the Mickey lamp in it, of Mickey with a surfboard and wood.
Oh yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah, and then
You
you
can
can buy the lamp.
You can buy the lamp, but it's $300.
Oh my god,
It's a beautiful lamp.
It's really pretty.
They also have a Christmas ornament of it that she brought home. So we didn't
Yes.
get the lamp,
We got the ornament.
but we got the ornament.
That is fun. I've always been a big fan of Disney selling the things from their hotel room.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when you could buy the shower curtain from Art of Animation, and I wanted to do that, but I haven't seen it very much anymore. But that is cool that they have several places to buy merch, and it sounds like a deluxe resort. All that they're missing is like at the Grand Floridian, they have the basin. They have the basin in there. But yeah, that's kind of that's kind of what it sounds like, where you've got your main area, you've got your area more dedicated to pool stuff, and then you've got your like higher end area. Was there a lot of like DVC branded stuff, or like did the whole place feel more DVC?
There was definitely lots of DVC, like catered towards DVC things. Like they had a whole office area, they had a desk. You could there was many like DVC only activities. They got their own special wristbands because you get your wristbands a new wristband every single day at Aulani to be able to use the pools. So they got sparkly, different colored ones than we did.
Ooh, special.
Yeah, we want to be DVC for the sparkly wristbands.
Right? We gotta get those.
I did.
You got one?
No, I wanted to be DVC for a sparkly wristband.
Right.
Yeah. You should have talked to somebody. You should have talked to somebody at the front desk. And actually, I mean, I'm sure you didn't do this because you probably would have talked about it. But did you see anybody there that were like giving DVC tours or anything like that?
Yes, they had 2 tour rooms that you could go into and look at.
And
yeah, she was walking around.
No,
when she was walking around with us on the video, she was like, "There's one. Oh, there's another one." And they had talked about doing a tour just for me,
I did not do it.
but you didn't.
No.
Those tours are cool. Honestly, Brian, I don't know. Have you done those at Disney World before?
No, I always bring it up with Tammy, like, let's just go do a tour. And she's like, no,
Honestly, it was one of the coolest things we had done on an off day, at Disney, and it worked out because it was like raining that day, so we were able to just kind of like walk around all of the hotel rooms. But that would have been something cool to be able to do at Aulani, and be able to like tour all of those DVC rooms. And that's a hot tip for you people at home. If you're walking around a DVC resort and you see those people like at those desks and they're just chilling, just walk up and ask for a tour, and they will gladly do it. But understand that at the end of the tour, they're gonna pitch a DVC. And we were totally cool with that because we want them to pitch us DVC. We're just waiting for the time that somebody pitches us DVC hard enough that we're like, yeah, let's go ahead and do this.
That's the thing, is they don't push hard.
Mm-hmm.
They just like give you the information, let you ask your questions, and then you're on your way. They don't push you that hard. They might give you a follow-up call a week later, but I've noticed that like you talk to them, they'll give you the information, they'll give you the tour, but they're not going to be like those timeshare places that are going to rope you in for 4 hours and try to sell you hard. They're going to just kind of, here's what we got, we'd love to have you.
We've been getting a lot of grief from people when we do talk about like, oh, I think we want to do DVC, and everybody's been calling it like Disney timeshare, but like, just I don't know, like the way that it's put together is kind of timeshare-y, but I don't ever like when we end up doing it, like it's not gonna feel like a timeshare. It's literally like a vacation club. Like it's as if you're just financing the trips that you want to take. Like, you're going to be taking these trips. Why not finance them and then be able to stay at like these fun deluxe resorts?
Right.
So yeah.
We actually talked to someone who was DVC, like a couple. They were on their 14th year of it.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So they said they loved it. Like, they thought it was a great decision. They love that they can pass it down to like their kids and their grandkids.
How old were they?
They were a little old. I think I would have guessed they were in like their higher 50s, lower 60s, but
Okay.
so they would have bought it when they were about
My age.
45 to 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Brian.
I know. I know. But let's get back to Hawaii and the Aulani.
Let's get back. Yeah, Paige, let's go. Let's get back to Hawaii.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
There were a couple of more things I wanted to cover. And I know you've got like a list of a whole bunch of tips. The one that I saw under other was bring pins with you. They do pin trading there.
We did not. I really wanted to bring our pins and I forgot them, which I was upset about. So I would definitely bring pins to trade. They have them at the Lava Shack. They just kind of have them all over. And actually on the daily thing that gives you the schedule of all the activities they have, that day, they will tell you where they're having pin trading hours and what time.
Oh, cool.
And is it set up the same way as like when you go to Disney gift shops where like there's just like a small board with random pins on it? Or is it like people walking around?
They do have a board, but there's actually none in any of the gift shops. Like there was one next to a gift shop, and then the others were kind of just at stands around the resort. It wasn't
cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And were there a lot of like Aulani branded pins, or did you see a lot of like generic Disney pins, or was it like a lot of like vacation Aulani type pins?
I mean, I didn't look at all of them because I wasn't really trading, but I did see a few of those generic ones, but I also saw like a few unique ones as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love doing pin trading, so that would be something to definitely have with you.
We need to I think we have some pins that we could possibly trade now because we have so many pins now. we need another board to put pins on, but I think we're gonna have to bring some on our Christmas trip coming up.
We definitely have extras yet. Yeah, it's sore subject with Paige. Christmas trip.
I had to bring it up. Yeah. You went to Aulani. You're on the podcast right now talking about your Aulani trip.
I could be on the podcast talking about a Christmas trip too.
No,
Yeah,
you just get one.
we'll have you come on the podcast and you can interview us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, perfect. You interview us.
My Jeopardy. Yep.
Your Jeopardy.
My Jeopardy host.
Yeah.
Paige. Yeah.
We'll do. Actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Paige can host a
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy between us, and we do like Disney Jeopardy.
That would be fun.
I have a really
That
good
would
Jeopardy
actually be really
voice.
great.
Well, there you go.
You could do girls against guys. I actually know you guys would win. You do couple against couple. You just do all four of you against each other.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's happening.
I like
we should
it.
do it. We should do it on our trip when we go in for Christmas.
How would that work?
She wouldn't be
Video
there though. You had one activity that we kept asking you if you were going to do, but you skipped it.
Yep.
Why?
I don't know.
So they do have snorkeling in a controlled area up by the pool where you can go snorkeling. They have fish and they have other things to look at in there, but you didn't want to do it.
I did. I don't know. It was hard. I don't know because Mima couldn't do it, but I wanted to do it, and then I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't end up doing it. I should have.
Yes, you should have.
I really should have. But it was really cool. And, like it was like you had to pay like $40 to do it.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
that's not bad.
Is it like? I don't know if you guys have ever been to Typhoon Lagoon, but is it like the place at Typhoon Lagoon?
We haven't been
I
there.
haven't
no.
been there.
Okay, well, there's a place in Typhoon Lagoon that you can snorkel, and supposedly there's like fish and stuff in there. I have this hazy memory of my family actually going to. I don't know if this is real or not. Maybe this was a dream. Take this out. But there was this time that I swear my parents were telling me about, like when I was in drum corps, and I think this was 2003 when drum corps was in Orlando, and they went to Blizzard Beach, and one of them did that. Like one of them did the snorkeling with all the fish. But was it actually the ocean, or was it just fish and stuff that Disney had made in a pool?
Fish and stuff that Disney had made in a pool.
Got it.
So
it's
it was it's pretty deep, but they had a bunch that over 1,000 fish in there probably.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a bunch of different cool fish, and so you could buy snorkel if you were younger and couldn't do it because you have to be. Actually, I don't know, but you could feed the fish too.
Okay.
So you have to feed the fish.
I've never actually snorkeled. I feel
Me
like I
neither.
wouldn't be able to understand that contraption with like breathing through your mouth, and I don't know.
I have tried using one of those when I've been in the water and stuff, and I can't figure it out. I don't know why.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
So okay, there was the grocery store across the street.
Yes.
That's probably like the last thing we'll talk
Yeah.
about. But yeah, I want to hear about this.
So probably not even like a 10-minute walk. You just walk over across the street. They had a Starbucks. They had many different shops, but they had a ABC store. So if you don't know what those are, they're like stores in Hawaii that have anywhere from groceries to clothes to it's like a general store.
Okay.
But
I
they have-
had to stop you real quick because when you said so you said ABC store,
Yes.
right? Okay. My mind went straight to the ABC store in New York at 30 Rock. and I was like, oh, like ABC store, and like all of a sudden I was like, in Hawaii they have an ABC store. So
You're
I just
talking
wanted
like
to,
the TV channel, aren't you?
yeah, exactly,
Okay.
like the TV ABC. But then my mind was like, oh well, I mean Disney, but yeah. So
Yeah. So
I was super confused for a while there.
I don't know. It's called an ABC store. But yeah, so we actually got a lot of our like those very standard Hawaii souvenirs like keychains, magnets. They had shirts, bags, little hula girls that sit on your dashboard. I got one of those. um yeah, they had a bunch of different stuff. They had a sushi area, a alcohol area, a boba tea making area.
Cool.
Just, yeah.
You did find out a place called Monkey Pod?
Yes. So our last night we were talking to those DVC couple again, and they said one of their favorite places to go eat dinner is Monkey Pod, which is also across the street. And it had like wood fired pizza. They're known for their Mai Tais. They had like whipped
Ooh.
egg whites on top of it, which everyone loved, like toasted.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I could go for one of those.
yep.
I was gonna ask how much. So you did an excursion, but like how much outside of the resort did you do actually?
Just the excursion and walking across the street from
Okay.
Aulani.
So it was just kind of like Aulani, and like
Yeah.
everything was kind of like right in there, like everything you needed.
Well, I kind of wish I did one or two more excursions, kind of see the island more, because I felt like I was very secluded to Aulani, and it's like you see a lot on the Majestic Island tour. You see a lot of the place, but I would have loved to see more of the island.
And that's like something I wrestle with too, where it's like because like I said, I've heard from other people where it's like, oh, these big resorts don't really give you like the Hawaii feel. But at the same time, it's like it's Aulani and it's a Disney resort, and like that's what I want. Like I want to stay at Disney resorts, so I don't know how sad I would be not seeing Hawaii. But then again, it's also Hawaii, so it's like
Yeah.
there's lots of other things that you could do. But I mean, I say that, like, I mean, you say that with vacations too, where it's like, oh, there's so many things you could do, and we just keep going back to Disney World. So
That's what I say.
Why travel to Italy when I can just walk from Morocco to Italy
Not
to
the
Germany?
same
like-
thing.
You mean like Epcot? There's a just completely off track, but there's a video of a guy doing that at they did a European trip, and the guy was like, no, yeah, they have this at Epcot, and they're like, no, but that's fake, and this is the real thing, and he's like, yeah, but you can see this at Epcot.
It's not the same.
Yeah, but you can see it in Epcot.
No,
Germany, they
no.
Norway. Mm-hmm.
With Elsa and Anna,
Yeah,
it's not
Yeah.
the same.
Yep.
No.
So would you go back to Hawaii?
Yes. Definitely.
One of the first things you did to me was send me a picture of Mickey waffles,
Yep.
which is one of the worst things you could do.
They were amazing.
They always are.
Don't
They
you
had-
have like a Mickey waffle press now at this point?
It's
They're
not
not
the
as good.
same.
They had sweet cream, like cream cheese, to put on them.
What?
I think every Disney resort needs that.
You
It
didn't
was
tell me about
amazing.
this.
It's amazing.
Oh,
I can't
was-
wait till that garden grill breakfast that we have coming up.
it was so weird having her at a Disney place without me there.
Mm.
You're gonna be at Disney place without me there.
It was, especially when we were on the video call and she's walking past characters and telling me different things. It's like, man, this is so weird.
I think your mom would love it there, like, and Mia. Like, I don't know. My grandma's really surprised that there was lots
Family
of
vacation?
I was really surprised. My grandma was really surprised that there was lots of littler kids there, which I was really confused about because I think Disney resort, I think kids kind of.
Well, it's also, I mean, you have to like I mentioned this a little bit where I was like, oh, it sounds like a deluxe resort, but like that's kind of what it is. It's basically like a deluxe resort in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I feel like I see that all the time at deluxe resorts where it's like families take their kids there to like chill, but they're still at Disney, so they can like take their kids over to the parks. And here, I guess it's like you do have like some kid centric things that you can do, from what I understand. But it's also just kind of like one of those like elegant, nice hotels that you can stay at, like a nice deluxe hotel. So
And they have what is it?
Auntie's Beach House, which is like
Yeah.
a kid area that you can go and hang out in, kind of
cool.
like on the cruise ships that they have.
So there's daycare for your kids.
I would want to work there.
Yeah, right? Goals.
Yep.
And to the point of the deluxe resort, like when we were looking at booking this for them, I went and started pricing hotels in that area and kind of the different options they could have gotten. And there are cheaper options, definitely, but there are more expensive options. I found this to be kind of middle of the road.
Mhm.
Maybe a higher end of the middle of the road, but it wasn't extravagant for a Hawaii resort.
We've actually looked at going to Aulani before, and like the hotel itself, reasonable. It's really just kind of like the flight that gets you and like everything else
Yes.
that comes from it.
Mhm.
But still, like like you said, kind of like, I mean, there are way bigger resorts that you can go to in Hawaii, but I mean, Aulani.
Right.
Yeah. I never got over how much everything was. Like, I understand it, we were in Hawaii and then there's also Disney prices on it, but I'm like, a meal for two of us, I feel like it was always costing around $100 with tip, which I could never get over. I was like, that's so much money.
Yeah, when you're sitting down somewhere it's gonna be that anywhere on Disney property too, in Florida or California, like.
Well, yeah, any of the nicer, like if you're staying at a deluxe resort, any of the nicer signature restaurants, it's gonna be like that's pretty par for the course.
Yeah. But we want to know if you guys have been to Hawaii. Let us know if this was helpful. If you have any questions for Paige, send them to us. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook. We are at Miles from Main Street. And we'd love to hear from you out there. Paige will definitely answer any questions on Facebook and Instagram. So send them to us and we'll get you some answers. It sounded like you had a wonderful time.
Yes, we did.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Mhm.
We are very jealous of you. But like we always say, some live close,
But others don't.
so let's talk about it. We'll see you next time on Miles from Main Street. But like we always say, some live close.
Some live far. Is that wrong? I don't know.
That was wrong.
Thank you.
That was wrong.
I don't listen to your podcast.
Obviously.
Obviously.